Hi ladies, I'm Carla, the founder of the Feminine Energy. Welcome to this channel. So in today's video, I want to talk about a topic that has been, so much discussed when we talked about the feminine energy, which is what is the difference between being in survival mode and living from your feminine energy, which are two completely different things and two completely different stages. And very often what happens is that women, when they have their feminine awakening or their womb awakening or spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it, they usually are in survival mode. I know because I've experienced that. I've been included. And I lived many years in survival mode. And after I had my feminine awakening, so I wanted to live different. I wanted to step into my feminine energy. I want to live a softer life, a life which is more aligned with who I truly am, more calm, more soft, more slow, and have things with more ease. And that's what I did. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the main differences between living in survival mode and living in your feminine energy. So when you are in survival mode, you are basically it's like living in auto modes. You're like almost like a robot. You're programmed to do things. You have a list of tasks that you have to do in your everyday life, and you're just going through the motions. You're just basically, rushing all day just to get those things done. It's in order to do that, you have to embody masculine traits. And that's why a lot of people call that living from masculine energy. I don't think it's necessarily living from masculine energy, but I believe it's more you embody, because we never stop being feminine. We never stop being in your feminine energy. It's not something that you lost. You're always feminine, you always have your feminine energy inside you, but it's just something that you maybe ignored or suppressed, and you embody those masculine traits in order to get things going, in order to survive. So you just are rushing, all day. I ended one thing, I have another to do, and then it feels like you never have time to do anything. There's not enough time, there's not enough energy, there's not enough money, there's not enough resources, there's not enough help. That's how it feels. It feels overwhelming. It feels like it's a never-ending list. You never have time just to, stop and breathe. And you're always exhausted. You're always tired. You're always exhausted. You feel like you never enjoy life. And it's always like you always have to make things happen. Like always pushing and forcing, because you have this belief that if you don't make things happen, nothing will happen. And you'll be, doomed. Your life will be ruined, etc., etc. So it's very often a state of hyper independence. You don't have anyone else to help, or help is limited, and you believe you have to do everything yourself. You don't trust anyone to help you, and basically you don't enjoy life. You always have some time to rest, like on weekends or holidays, but never on a daily basis. You don't. That's that expression. You never stop to smell the roses. You're just rushing. All day long. You never have time just for yourself and to take care of you, and your nervous system is always activated. And that's one of the main things of living in survival mode, is your nervous system is never calm. It's always activated. It's like if you sit on the sofa and think, okay, I'm gonna rest for a little bit. You cannot rest, because your internal nervous system, it's always activated. It's always like you feel like you are missing out because you are doing nothing and you're not being productive. So if you're not being productive, things won't happen. But then what happens is that you don't let any room to take care of yourself. And what happens is that if you believe in the law of attraction, we attract what we are. So if we are in this rushing energy, believing that we always have to be productive, always have to be doing, otherwise your life will be ruined, what will happen is you will attract more of the same. You will attract more things to do. You will attract more issues, more problems, more challenges, and your life will always be like this. You'll be one after the other. It's like a snowball, you'll be one thing after the other. And you always in this loop, and it's very easy to be in a victim mode, in a victim mindset. Oh, poor me, I have so many things to do, I don't have any help, blah, 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 blah. And so this is a vicious cycle. And it's not your fault, because a lot of times that's how we were raised as women. We were taught to suppress our feminine energy, and that you have to always be on doing things and improving yourself, and otherwise nothing will happen. So that's a belief that we were raised, that we grew up with, thinking that we always have to be doing, we always have to be productive, we always have to be rushing. That's life. Maybe that's how life is. Maybe that's how your mother lived. Maybe that's how your parents were. Maybe that's how your friends are. Whatever. Those are beliefs that were acquired from someone or somewhere. But what happens when you have this feminine awakening is that you reach a point where I can't stand this anymore. And sometimes it's when you hit rock bottom, when you get really exhausted. Some women are really on the verge of a breakdown, or some women have a real nervous breakdown, or they have some health situation, they'll have to force them to slow down and to change their life. And that's when they have this awakening, this feminine awakening, like, oh my God, I have to stop. I cannot live like this. And you want to live different. And then that's when you start listening to yourself, and start listening to your needs, and start listening to you. Maybe even for the first time in your life, you start listening not to what society tells you have to do, what others tell you have to do, but to yourself. What do I need? How do I feel? And you start listening and honoring yourself, honoring how you feel, honoring your needs, honoring your emotions, and start putting all that as a priority. So that's when you want and start to connect with your feminine energy. And your feminine energy, it's basically enjoying life. It's listening to you. It's putting you first. And it's about enjoying life. It's about slowing down and calming down your nervous system. It's about changing your beliefs and changing your identity, and let go of that belief that you always have to be rushing, always have to be productive, don't have time for anything. And then you start to slow down, and you start to be open to receive, help, be open to, trust that others want to help you, and stop being hyper independent, and start, delegating, asking for help, outsourcing, paying for services, so that you can take care of yourself, because you start putting your health and your well-being as a priority. First, it comes before everything else. And that's when your world starts opening up. And that's when you start to realize, oh, okay, I wasn't, the way that I was living before, it isn't really the only way we are supposed to live. There's so many options on this world on how you want to live, and you just have to choose yours. You don't have to live in a way that doesn't make you feel good, and it just is killing your health, and it's making you exhausted, and all the health issues that come, mental and physical health issues that come because of that. So you start realizing that you have the power to choose, and you have the power to choose how you want to live, and you want to live a beautiful life, and you want to enjoy life. And that's how living from your feminine energy is. And this is nothing extraordinary. This is normal. I know for a lot of women, they don't know what normal is. that me included. I was always rushing, always in survival mode. My life was a roller coaster. I didn't know what normal was until I decided to take that step into my feminine energy and enjoy life. And I just realized that when I slow down and take my time and live according to my internal rhythm and not other people's rhythms or timings, that's when things really start to happen for you. That's when the universe has space to help you. That's when you start co-creating with the universe. That's when opportunities start to appear. That's when help start to appear. That's when things just change around you because you change yourself. You're changing yourself. You are putting yourself first. So, and that I was saying, through the law of attraction, you attract what you are. So if you are focusing on your well-being, you will attract things to help you. You will attract things and people that are going to help you take care of you or take off the load, or live an easier life, living a softer life. And that's when you start to realize that's where true abundance is. Because I don't know if you feel this, but what I felt when I was in survival mode, I was always pushing and forcing, etc. I was building a business, but I always felt like I couldn't go past a certain level. I couldn't go past a certain level of workload, or of money, abundance, opportunities. It was like there was like this wall that I was hitting the wall all the time. And because I was using all my energy, I wasn't relying on the universe to help me, on other people to help me. I was closed off, I was contracted. So that's why I didn't have space for other things to come into my life and help me. So when I opened up to within my feminine energy, I opened up. I started to expand. I started to open up to the beauty of the world, to abundance, to prosperity, and to a more joyful life. And I started, and I think this is the main difference between living in survival mode and living in living in your feminine energy. It's about being in the present moment. It's about, because when we are in survival mode and we have all these things to do and we are rushing, we are never in the present moment. We are doing something, we're always thinking about the next thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because that's how I was living. I was working on my computer, but I was really thinking about the lunch that I would have to do next. And then I was doing the lunch and I was thinking about washing the dishes. And I was washing the dishes and I would think, oh, I have to pick up my daughter from school. And I was always, my brain was always overthinking, and I was always not in the present moment. But when you are living, that's what living is. It's being in the present moment at all times. And just be focused. It's like when you go to the gym and you're doing a class at the gym and you're enjoying it so much that you forget everything else, the outside, and you're just so in the moment. That's living in your feminine energy. That's how it feels. And the difference is that you're going to live like that always, not just when you go to that class in the gym, but always, all the time. It's focusing on this present moment. You are fully in your body, because when you are in survival mode, you are in your head, you are in your mind all the time. When you are in your feminine energy and living, you are in your body, you are feeling. You are living through feeling, and the head is there to support you. It's the other way around. So you are just living from this sensual, yummy, beautiful, feminine energy, with just living from all your senses, and truly feeling life, and then that's when you start noticing things around you that you weren't noticing it before, because you were just rushing everywhere. And so these are the main differences. It's a completely different energy. It's a completely different life that you deserve to live. And if you want to do this shift, if you want to do this transition, but you're finding it difficult, I know it can be difficult, because when we lived in survival mode for so many years and have so many beliefs ingrained, that it's difficult to do this shift, because you're basically changing yourself at a deep level. So it doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen quickly. It's not a switch that you're gonna put off on and off. It will take time. So I would say take your time. Take the time you need. Just listening. Start by listening to yourself. Start by truly listening. If you feel tired, yes, just stop and rest. Just stop and rest. No one is forcing you to do anything. Just stop and rest. Start there. Start by resting, starting by taking care, because anyone who is living survival mode for a lot of time, they need a lot of rest. they need to rest. So take a nap. Take a power nap. Start there. So you have to start somewhere. And I have this amazing book called Embody Your Sensual Feminine Energy that will help you do this. It will help you in this shift, in this journey. I truly advise you to get it. The link is in the description of this video. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Have a nice day. Bye.